Picture this: three library staff members trapped inside the South Charleston Public Library. Aaron, Tobey, and Josh, each with divergent tastes, tasked with watching each other's films. Can they survive with their sanity intact? Find out on Real Opposites, a library podcast about movies.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Real Opposites. I'm Aaron.
I'm Josh.
And I'm Tobey.
And we are back to discuss my picks this time for our second and last, at least for now, double feature horror films episode. So we are here to discuss Faculty and The Craft.
Yeah.
And I guess we'll just jump into The Faculty first.
Oh.
All right.
Why you
What-
like the faculty?
What speaks to you?
When I picked this, I didn't remember a lot of The Faculty. I just remember seeing it when I was younger and really liking it. But I just didn't. I knew like the concept and stuff. I could remember that, but I didn't remember the whole movie. So it was something I also just wanted to rewatch as an adult.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say I loved it on rewatch. Even it's just it's a fun time. I think it's just one of those like fun movies, and then I felt like the little bit of what do you call it? The special effects and stuff.
Yeah.
Good.
I felt like that was good. They pretty much held up.
They were.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
all the practical makeup effects, I think, still
Yeah.
look great. Some of the CG is wonky. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
low budget movie from
Right.
1998. So.
Right. And I like that. I definitely think it has that, for sure captures that 90s horror teen drama
Mhm.
film.
Like right when it starts, and I forget whatever the song is, and it's just like, oh wow, this is really.
Right, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure it
And-
opens with Pink Floyd's "Brick in the Wall."
I don't know. I don't
At least
remember.
that is what the title scroll kind of is.
Oh no, I mean like when
Um,
when you first get into the high
The
school,
school.
and it's like it's introducing all the cast and
I
stuff.
had a
Yeah.
list.
I don't remember, but that was one thing I did like was the soundtrack is just perfect for it. It definitely gives me those, and I thought this through it was it gave me those Scream feel of how the music is
Oh,
used
yeah.
in Scream, which I did not realize, but this is Kevin Williamson.
Yeah,
so
I forgot about that till I was looking while I was looking up something for the movie while I was watching it, and I was like, oh yeah,
yeah.
Williamson. I forgot
is
about
it
So
that.
I
like
totally
Kids Aren't
forgot
All
about
Right
that.
by The Offspring.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. But I totally forgot about that, and as soon as I realized that again, I was like, "Well, no wonder I'm really drawn to this."
Yes.
Very
Well, now you've seen The Thing.
Screamish.
How do you feel?
Yeah,
You've seen The Thing. This
Mhm.
is a straight Thing remake, basically.
yeah. Even
Yeah.
I mean, the one scene specifically, like that's like
The drug
callback.
test?
Yeah, the callbacks to the blood test from the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, seeing both of them, you can see that 100%.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. I mean, they both have their own thing.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
I didn't mean like
But-
that. It's
No,
like
yeah, but I think this was a neat twist on it
yeah. I mean,
for the 90s.
I mean, I do like how so Robert Rodriguez directed this,
Mhm.
and he was coming off of El Mariachi and Desperado and From Dusk Till Dawn.
Mhm.
And I like how it does how isolated they all feel,
Right.
Yes.
and I like how like the whole at a certain point like it gets to the point where like the whole town is becoming
Aliens.
alien and getting infected and
Right.
becoming like the Thing, and it's like it's almost like what if the Thing actually got to civilization,
Yeah.
from like that movie, and you didn't know who anybody was, and
Right.
except that they were just really drinking a lot of water.
Yeah. I guess that's true. Yeah.
But
That's
yeah,
one way to know.
it's I really enjoyed watching this. It was probably like 3 or 4 years ago I watched it again.
Mhm.
I watch it every decade.
Yeah.
It's a really it's like this is kind of horror movies. It's just fun.
It is. Yeah.
I mean, and I like that they didn't try to tone it down or anything. Like it's It's graphic when it needs to be, but
Mhm.
and it's R rated. They didn't try to PG-13 it,
No.
and it stays at that straight line. Like it's really solid.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. The cast is great. I continue to want to comb Josh Hartnett's hair.
Oh
Very-
gosh, that hairstyle.
Yeah, that's a real
Horrible.
fun.
I don't.
That's a real fun.
Which I saw that during an interview for Halloween H2O, which he was in.
Yeah.
He acknowledged his controversial hairstyle that can be seen in this film,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
in that film, and The Faculty.
Yeah. He must have done one right after the other.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they both came out in '98.
Yeah, and they're both that horrible hairstyle.
Yeah. I remember him saying that on H2O the hair stylist or whatever would comb it for
Mhm.
each shot,
Mm-hmm.
and then he would just mess it up.
Yeah,
For every shot.
and he was cutting
I
his
don't
own hair. He kept cutting it and
Really?
messing
You
it
don't
up
say.
to look more like an authentic teen. Which
Yeah,
I mean,
I mean,
guess.
I guess I like his character in this. Like he's
Yeah.
Yeah, the little
the smart slacker
smart
drug dealer.
Yeah. He's synthesizing nonsense in his
Yeah,
it's like a caffeine synthesis.
He's a bit like Matthew McConaughey from Dazed and Confused. If
Right.
he applied himself to actually learn about science and
Yeah.
biology and stuff,
Yeah, I like his part in this, and then I also just like that it does also touch on teen things,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like high
yeah.
school. Like everybody thinking the one girl is a lesbian, but she's not, and just
Yeah.
shunning her for that, even though she's not.
But then she also kind of plays into it because
she doesn't want to talk.
doesn't
to
want to speak
Yeah.
to anyone.
Right.
So it's like
And then you have
you know.
drugs, and you have all the different groups of teens. I just think
Yeah.
it's really cool that they also had that, but then it's such a good, fun horror movie.
Yeah.
It's one thing from it feels like it's almost like left over from the '80s a little
Mhm.
bit. Like you have the jock and you have
Right.
the cheerleader who
Mhm.
the newspaper the overachieving people
It's like the
the
horror version
slacker-
of Breakfast Club.
the slacker the drug
Yeah,
dealer
Breakfast
the
Club.
nerd.
It's like Breakfast Club meets. The
It
Thing.
really is like they all do now. Kind of. Now that I'm just saying it, like they do all
Yeah.
Elijah Wood is Anthony Michael Hall from Breakfast Club, and
Yep.
Josh Hartnett is
Mhm.
Judd Nelson, and
Well, it's
Yeah.
so but that's such a even though I feel like I don't know what high school's like these days. When I was in high school, I didn't feel like it was quite as cliquey as depicted in an '80s movie, so to speak.
no, not
But-
quite as, but there was definitely
There's
some
something
truth
universal to that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
something universal to there are definitely kids that stay in their lane, so
lane,
to
yeah.
speak, and then there's
Yeah.
kids that just float wherever.
That's how it was
Yeah.
when I was in high school. We had those cliques and your groups that you just automatically are with because of your interest,
that. Yeah,
but then everybody still talked to each other.
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
It wasn't as inflammatory between the two
Right.
two groups.
yeah,
they
usually
didn't
not.
hate each other or anything. It was just, but yeah, I mean, I'm just.
I also
don't
love
know
a
what to
good
say.
evil teacher movie. There
Yeah.
were a couple of those. I
Yeah.
forget what some of the other ones were, but
It's Teaching Mrs. Tingle.
yeah,
Katie
that one.
Holmes.
Yeah.
I never saw that actually.
I haven't seen that.
I'm assuming they're
There are
going after a teacher
Yeah.
yes.
based on the
Yes.
title.
They're pretty. I mean, they were mostly pretty bad, and this one's pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know, and just little Elijah Wood being our wide-eyed main character
Hero.
of
Yeah.
of sorts was really fun. I don't know. I enjoy there weren't as many tropes. There's not really a final there is final there's not really a final survivor. It's
Right.
just
Yeah.
students versus the faculty and that one girl who is the queen alien or whatever. I just think that they've been I don't know. It was really fun.
Which was pretty evident. I was watching it. So I watched it with Kendall. She had never seen it.
Mhm.
And she kept
Immediately.
trying to pick
Yeah.
who's the main person, the main alien or whatever. And she didn't. So that was fun.
Yeah.
till the reveal, I was like,
Yeah, it's
I
watching it once you know, but like it's hard to pick.
I
the,
will
like-
say I forgot.
Yeah.
And I did not pick her either. I thought it was the redhead teacher from the beginning.
Oh, okay.
The one that's at the door and then stabs the teacher.
Yeah.
I thought it was her.
Piper Laurie, the older lady.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
older, red-haired.
Yeah, that's Piper. It's Carrie's
Okay.
mom from Carrie.
Piper Laurie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, from the Carrie movie.
Okay. Yeah, her. I thought it was her.
Yeah, that's what I like. It's like the young actors are really like the kind of the cream of the crop from that era.
Yeah.
Elijah Wood, Josh Hartnett, Clea Duvall, who
Mhm.
this was pretty early in her career. Like this and Girl Interrupted kind of gave her a start. And then, but
Yeah.
the adults are like really established, good character actors.
Right.
Um,
Was
you know,
Jordana Brewster big at that time, or would have this been something?
this
early
would have
for her?
been pretty. This is pretty Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
I feel like there was some other horror movie she was in around this time.
I like her in
Um,
lots of things. I like well, Fast and Furious is kind of, but she's great in Chuck. So
But and then I like all the veteran character actors, the faculty.
Mhm.
You know, Robert Patrick, Salma Hayek, Jon Stewart, Piper Laurie. Who am I forgetting? But Christopher McDonald as his dad, as Elijah Wood's dad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was great. I was like, oh, Shooter McGavin
Yeah.
and BB Newirth. And Famke Janssen. Man, it's just like it's a stacked cast.
It really
it
is.
is.
Especially for at that time.
Yeah, I mean,
But in general, it
for
is.
not like a huge budget movie,
Right.
it's
I mean,
just fun to watch everyone have fun.
Yeah.
Like, and it just seems like Robert Rodriguez seems to have like a pretty laid back atmosphere on his sets, and I think that's why he's able to get good actors.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like they did have. Yeah, I feel like they spent the budget they had on good
The
talent.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is
And
important if you're
it
making a
worked.
good movie.
Yeah.
It worked for this because the acting was good.
And I mean, in general, like you kind of like, I mean, it was certainly with people like Robert Patrick and Piper Laurie, there, and Salma Hayek at this point, maybe
Mhm.
like we've seen them in movies. Like
Right.
Robert Patrick is the T-1000, Piper Laurie. Like,
Yeah.
so you're
John's
kind of
ridiculous.
there's a relationship that you have with them,
Right.
Even though
Pre-established one.
yeah. So that makes I can see that they're just having a lot of fun
Right.
playing, like relishing those roles. I love Robert Patrick in this. He's like even before he's infected or whatever, he's just such an a-hole.
Yeah.
I
He's good. I mean, and he plays the coach so well, and like you said, even before he's infected.
Yeah.
But then when he is infected, I mean, he's great.
Yeah, he's
just
really
great.
creepy just standing there drinking
Yeah.
water.
Some of our favorites were like almost in this movie.
Yeah.
Sarah Michelle Gellar and Charisma Carpenter were almost
Oh,
in it,
wow.
both from Buffy.
Yeah.
The character of Delia was written for Charisma Carpenter, who is Cordelia.
Oh,
on
okay.
Buffy. And then Gillian Anderson was almost in it as
Yeah,
Valerie Drake.
instead of BB Newirth as the
Mhm.
principal.
Oh.
That would have been cool.
That would have been fun
That would've been
too.
cool.
Yeah.
And she was
Well-
probably just busy on X-Files.
Yeah. And don't forget your favorite actor of all time. This was actually his film debut, Usher.
Oh yeah. I did love the era of movies where we just saw Usher every so often.
Right.
Like,
or
he
just
was
every
in-
once in a while there was somebody.
He wasn't
Yeah.
so, or like
The-
Lil
the-
Bow Wow. Just occasionally, there's
Yeah.
a rapper in the
Yeah,
movie for
they
no
just
reason.
Cast hip-hop artists.
One of my favorite
this is a
hip hop
film.
artist movies would be Halloween H2.
Busta Rhymes. No, it's
or
Resurrection.
Resurrection.
Busta
With
Rhymes.
Busta Rhymes when he fights him.
Kung Fu fighting Michael
Yeah.
Myers.
Love that.
Trick or treat, mother.
Yeah. Such a great line. Such a great scene.
That's a
That
good
movie
one.
is it's terrible, but I can't not watch it.
Right.
good. Yeah, it's terrible.
And
but
actually,
it's
I want to
good
watch
way.
that again.
And actually, like a little bit ahead of its time as
Yeah.
far as like the whole internet, like internet show,
Right.
like found footage, kind of like Paranormal Activity. Really, like several
Yeah.
years before Paranormal Activity.
yeah.
It doesn't excuse that it
It's horrible.
is a horrible Halloween movie.
yeah.
It
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 was
makes and just takes a giant poo over the whole franchise.
I loved it.
But
But
It was
it's
Busta Rhymes and Tyra Banks.
it's a fun artifact of that era.
see,
Right,
if it wasn't a
exactly.
Halloween movie, though, I think
Yeah.
it would be like some beloved garbage.
It's the second Halloween movie that if it wasn't a Halloween movie, I'd enjoy it a lot.
Right.
It would be a good movie.
What's the other?
Ends.
And
The last one.
Oh, yeah.
So this was the film debut of Jordana Brewster.
yeah, okay.
So it was her
okay.
very first movie.
I like
She's
her.
really good in the movie as that
She's-
like bitchy.
I'm trying to.
She has the right
Yeah,
face
she's
for it.
awful.
Oh, she's.
We
is
were
she
both-
the one that
She's like the newspaper.
the teen.
She's the one that's the girlfriend of the football guy who quits the football team
Was the girlfriend.
was the girlfriend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And ends up being the first infected of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, she is terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Like, please die.
in a
Somebody
fun
kill
way.
her.
I could have seen Charisma Carpenter playing.
Well, that's the thing. Jordana Brewster plays, for lack of a better term, well, we'll use witch because it's Halloween super well.
Yeah.
She plays I don't know. There's something, especially if she's being kind of sneaky about it. Like it just works for her. I don't know. I kind of respect Josh Hartnett's decision to cut his own hair like a teenage boy would.
yeah, I mean,
mean,
it's
it-
horrible.
In this one,
Looks so bad.
I feel like it fits the character
It
more than it
does.
does in H2O.
Yeah.
It definitely fits the character in this one.
Yeah, because I mean, he's just this.
Sucker.
Seems like he lives out of his car.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I would.
And then you see like he's got
The,
this
like-
huge like garage science like
Yeah.
lab
you know,
going on.
science lab going on.
And
Yeah.
he's got like the like drug pins. That one is
Yeah.
kills me. It's like what? Why? It's like this isn't, and then it's caffeine. It's like this isn't even illegal. Like you're probably gonna get in trouble for selling it at school, but like,
I loved it, and I loved that was such an important part of the movie. That is how they knew if people,
we're the,
like the
Yeah.
blood test. That's how they knew if people were infected. That's how they killed people.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
I
check.
liked it.
I'm gonna have to check out Teaching Mrs. Tingle. I didn't realize Williamson wrote and directed that one.
oh yeah.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
I don't think I've ever even heard of that movie.
I remember it coming and going. Like I didn't see this when it came out because I mean I'm sure you guys remember, but like in the post Scream era, like
Yeah, that's right.
there was so many
last summer.
Yeah, there was so many knockoffs. I mean, I saw I Know What You Did Last Summer, but there was several that was they just seemed like at least they were advertised as just being lame kind of
Right.
Scream ripoffs.
Urban Legend.
So like,
which I also
which
like,
yeah, I
but
didn't
yeah.
I didn't see that till years later. I didn't see this till years later. I love both of them. They're a lot of fun. So I might have to check that one out because there's definitely
Yeah.
some diamonds in the rough.
That might be something I would be interested in because I love these type of
a lot
movies.
of the post teen
This
movies.
like fun horror teen movies. I mean, from
Yeah.
the
I like 'em
'90s.
too.
Maybe-
So
They're charming.
I need to go back and look at some of those that were released after.
But yeah, I don't know, man. It's hard to find like just fun horror movies like this anymore.
Yeah.
These movies from this era, teen horror movies, they are kind of packaged.
Hmm.
Like there's a formula to them.
Yeah.
Like we said, like there's usually some sort of a musical artist
Yes.
turned actor. Brandy, and I still know what
yeah.
you did last summer. Usher, this was his first movie too. Busta Rhymes,
Kelly Rowland and
Ellen, Freddy vs.
Yeah.
Jason.
Versus Jason.
Yeah, and it's like so. I don't know. There's something. It's similar to in that respect. It's similar to the '80s slashers, and there's a formula, and it's kind of comforting to kind of know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, you'll get surprised by something that
Right.
really, takes you by surprise. Hot. And
Surprise. It's the one that takes you by
surprise.
surprise.
and but it's there's
They're
still
male
comfort.
boys, but-
I don't know. They're kind of like comfort food. I
right.
Yeah.
16-year-old me is appalled that 40-year-old me is saying this about these movies.
Yeah.
Because at the time I was like, ugh, I'm gonna go watch Evil Dead 2 again.
Right.
Well, okay. Well, 16-year-old Josh was pretentious. That's fine. All 16-year-olds are when
Well,
it goes to there.
I don't know. Like at the time, I just was not into. I mean, I love Scream.
Right.
I liked I Know You Did Last Summer. That was kind of where I just was like,
That's where it ended.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where it
Yeah.
ended.
so. But I wish I had seen these in theater. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, at the age for which they are intended is fun too. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I would have enjoyed them.
Yeah.
But I still enjoy them. It's a nice like throwback.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, I
it's
think
it's
so.
like it's a bit nostalgic, because
Yeah, and those
I was in high school when this came out, and
Right.
when all those movies came out, and it's like, oh yeah, that's how it kind of was.
Yeah, and they all have that. There's just a certain feeling that they encompass,
Yeah,
and I feel like teen movies today just can't grab
they
that.
seem like
It
they
was a then type of feeling
I
that
wish
they
we
were just
had
able to
gotten
do.
teen movies like this when I was
Yeah.
a teenager. We had to watch movies from the night. Like, I mean, I think if we wanted to watch teen movies when I was a teenager, we watched ones from the 90s. We watched like Empire Records and
can't hardly wait.
Can't Hardly Wait. Yeah.
Yeah.
The early appearance of McDreamy with like Can't Buy Me Love. But like that's what we had to. I mean, I was 3 when The Craft came out, and 5 when The Faculty came out. So like we had to kind of go back in time to watch what.
I forget. I just forget.
You weren't that much older.
I guess. Well, yeah, I guess not.
No.
98, I would have been 9 or 10.
Yeah.
That's a big difference than 5.
Yeah. It was
Uh,
little.
15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it
I
was-
don't know. They're. I also liked how he threw in a little bit of, a little bit of satire. So as far as
Mhm.
like the opening scene with all the faculty in the break room where they're talking about that they don't have any money for anything.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
want to go on this trip, but you can't do that. And they're like, well, the football team, of course, is going to get
Right.
New
They're gonna-
jerseys
they're
and
gonna get it.
all this
They're gonna
stuff.
go,
And,
yeah.
Yeah,
it's just
and-
like, well, you just have to make do. Just reconfigure the computers
Right.
for the next year. Add some memory or something.
Yeah, the principal was like, of course they're going to get new uniforms. This
Yeah.
is a football town,
Yes.
Yeah.
which there are a lot of
So
football towns.
true, though.
around.
Like, basically,
Yeah, I mean, it is.
everywhere. Yeah.
But I mean, it's also just nice to see back when Robert Rodriguez could actually make like a good movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he did this. I mean, so he had Desperado, From Dusk Till Dawn. Have you seen From Dusk Till Dawn?
Dust Till Dawn's great.
I don't know if
George
I have.
Clooney and
You're gonna need to
Tarantino,
watch
Harvey Keitel.
Okay.
I don't know.
Oh, you
Vampire
have to watch
strippers?
it. Yes,
Like,
Oh, then
it's
no,
it's like
I'm
it's
not-
need to
like
see
it's
it.
like 2 movies.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. The first one is just like this really contained, tense, and then they get to the bar, and
mhm.
it's just it's all out gore and
Yeah.
vampires and
I
Nonsense.
don't
Great
think
fun.
I have.
Tarantino wrote the script.
You're going to need to see that one.
Yeah,
But it's just called From Dusk to Dawn.
From Dusk Till Dawn.
So
They made like
It's
they made a
like
bunch of
2
direct to
movies.
videos.
Is what
It's
you're
like
saying.
2 movies,
Oh,
like the
okay.
movie, like it's one movie, but it's
Oh,
there's a
okay.
clear
Totally
like
different.
midpoint where it switches.
Totally different.
Yeah.
I
They
guess
made
I
they made
haven't.
a few like direct to video sequels. One, I think the first one of which Robert Patrick was actually in.
Yeah, I guess I'll
yeah,
have to watch
yeah,
it.
he had Desperado, that, and then this, and then a few years later he made Spy Kids.
No.
Oh.
You know what?
But the first Spy Kids is good.
Yeah.
The first Spy Kids is a fun movie.
For kids.
Maybe even the second one.
It goes
Then
downhill after that.
Then he made the Shark Boy and Lava Girl, and
Mhm.
he kind of came back to do Once Upon a Time in the Mexico, one with Johnny Depp, like the sequel to Desperado. That wasn't any good.
Is
So-
that with
but-
Julia Roberts?
No, it's.
Oh, that's a different.
I mean, it's
movie.
Salma Hayek and Antonio Banderas is in it,
Oh, okay.
and Johnny
He
Depp.
just really likes Selma Hayek because she's in
I mean, she's in pretty much everything.
everything.
She's.
Yeah. I mean,
I can't think of one where she's not
Oh.
in the movie.
no,
I
no.
mean, they're just
shade.
really good
I
friends.
Really like
like,
Selma Hayek.
well, I think
too.
like when he started, so he made El Mariachi in Mexico for like I like a stupid amount of money. Like
Yeah.
it was like I think it was under $10,000. It's somewhere in that area.
Yeah.
Like he had a camera
Mhm.
and he had nothing and made that movie, and it was really popular at festivals. And then he got the job to. I think he directed a segment of 4 Rooms, which is like this anthology movie with Tarantino.
Hmm.
And then he basically remade El Mariachi as Desperado with Antonio
Oh, okay.
Banderas. Salma Hayek and Steve Buscemi. Like it's a fun movie. It's a lot of fun
Yeah.
movie. It's an action movie, but I think you'd probably enjoy it. So I mean, I feel like at that point, like there's not a lot of Latinos in
No, in
Hollywood at that
Yeah.
point. So it's like
Right.
you got Robert Rodriguez, Antonio Banderas. Like pretty much they were all in Desperado, and Danny Trejo, Chief
and then
Marin.
in Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah.
And then-
So I mean, like I feel like they just. I mean, I would imagine they just kind of bonded over
Yeah.
just shared
Yeah.
culture.
making
You know,
Sure,
kind
yeah.
of within the movie making.
So I have a
Yeah.
question because all roads lead to Crossroads. Was
Oh, wow.
the From
It's been a
Dusk
while.
Till Dawn snake dance scene pre or post the Britney Spears snake
This
dance?
is pre. From Dusk Till Dawn was 96.
Yeah,
This
96.
is pre Britney Spears. Britney Spears was on like
Yeah, there is.
Mouseketeers or whatever.
I'm pretty
by then.
sure the snake dance it was later. Like,
Oh yeah, that's definitely inspired by
Yeah.
Salma Hayek
and Dusk Till Dawn.
and From Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So she's
Yeah.
Never even
She
heard of
dances
it.
with the giant.
yeah,
Like,
Oh, that's
with the
cool.
giant
Yeah.
snake. I'm sure it's not like the first time someone's danced with a giant snake, but it's a pretty memorable scene
Yeah.
from that movie. Which we're going to have to do that at some point.
Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah.
Yeah. I say we do
I
it.
That's a
think you're
great
gonna
movie.
need that.
But yeah, so I mean, he was really like a hot director,
Yeah.
you know, and he made Sin City, and that's kind of like we got that.
I
And
did-
it's like
I
more
like
Spy
Sin
Kids
City.
and all that kind of crap after that.
hey,
Um,
the first Spy Kids is a treasure.
no, yeah, the first Spy Kids is fun. It was like, oh, this is like I don't know. There was like not a lot of great family movies at that time
Yeah.
when that
You want
came
to know
out.
how bad
too.
I wanted a tiny zoo?
I'm.
The first.
I haven't
Spy
seen
Kids?
Spy Kids. in a
Really?
I
long-
was gonna say.
No, I mean in like a long time
long
since it
time,
came
yeah.
out. I
I
don't
don't
remember.
think I've ever seen it.
I just remember thinking it was pretty good.
It's so fun.
Yeah, I don't remember it.
I think I even saw the third one, the 3D one.
One of their spy gadgets
Spy
is
Kids
like
3D.
a zoo that's this big that has little miniature versions. They shrink all the animals down, and
Oh.
so it's like they just have a bunch of
Yeah, I
like
kind of remember that.
fun childhood memory things. It was
Hmm.
good. A lot of great actors doing really stupid things.
That
Yeah.
boy's married to Megan Trainor now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean the faculty.
Yeah.
I
So you guys liked it?
Yeah, no, I had a lot of fun with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's two thumbs up for
Two
me.
thumbs up.
6 thumbs altogether.
Oh,
Thumbs all together.
See that?
I
I did
see.
math.
You're not counting any phantom thumbs this time. So
Yeah.
that's good.
Nope. Just 6 thumbs. So that is The Faculty, and we'll just jump straight into talking about one of my favorite movies of all time, The Craft.
Where does The Craft rank with like Crossroads and Scream
And
and
so usually
17 again?
Is it top 5?
a 100% top 5. Usually, if you ask me my favorite movies, it's gonna be Scream, Twister,
Ooh.
Oh.
Buffy, The
The
Craft,
the movie,
the movie,
the movie Buffy.
yeah, The Craft, and top 5.
Need one more.
It's not gonna be Crossroads.
I don't think that actually falls in the top 5.
I think Crossroads would probably be my 6th.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Grease is my 5th.
Oh, I didn't see that one coming at all.
Grease
You've never
is
talked about
so
Grease.
good.
Grease is one of my favorite movies.
Oh, we
Huh.
need to. We
Yeah.
should do a musical episode, and so that I love Grease. So
Yeah, Grease is
we
fun.
can talk about it.
So so The Craft is definitely one of them.
Okay.
100%. I have always loved The Craft since the first time I saw it.
I thought for sure we had talked about The Craft on the podcast.
We
but
we
I
had
think
not,
it's just
and that's
because you talk about The Craft a lot.
right. That's true. We had not, and that's why I was so excited to do this one. And I feel like, it once again, it's one of those teen movies. Captures that teen feeling, and from that era, and I don't know. I feel like I don't know what other movie is the same as this one. I do feel like it's different than a lot of movies at the time.
This has a vibe.
It has a specific vibe.
It really does.
And I don't know. It's just it's always been one of my favorites. I love the witchcraft in it. I love the teen drama in it. You get good storylines, good character development, and I don't know. It's absolutely one of my favorite movies.
So the first time I watched The Craft, I'll go through what my initial thought was. The first time I watched The Craft was not until a few years ago, and I had a fear that it was going to be like a few movies from this time where it like just talks about basically the dangers of witchiness.
Oh, okay.
Like like there were a couple of like essentially movies that were basically like chick tracks that were like, you know, uh, Dungeons and Dragons will lead you to the devil. Witchcraft is when you dead, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I was really scared of that when I started watching this because as the girls start going down like
A
the
darker
black
path.
magic path, kind of, I was like, oh well, it's gonna be like that's how it's gonna end. Is it's gonna be like this is something and. I was really, really pleasantly surprised the first time I watched it with like the fact that that's not how it ends up. I mean, it does end up that way for some of them, but not because witchcraft is bad in the context
because of their
the movie.
choices.
It's because of the choices that they make.
Yeah, and you have the voice of reason the whole time. I can't think of her name.
The Lyria. The Assumpta Cisterna. She's
the store owner.
The store owner, yeah.
Yeah, which basically
their
talks
white
about
witch, yeah.
Yeah, but she's like there is no white or black in
magic,
pure
yeah.
magic. It's based
It's
on
both
the person
because it's
and
nature, yeah. And I love Robin Tooney. I really like every time I watch this movie, I'm like, I know her from somewhere, and it's from Empire Records.
Yeah.
She's the bald girl in Empire Records.
Yeah, so I didn't know this. I've always had a crush on Robin Tooney from this movie, and I've always loved her in the auburn hair. 'Twas a wig.
Yes.
It's one of the worst wigs.
Yeah.
It's not a good wig.
For some
either.
reason, as a younger person, I didn't notice that.
Well, you're probably watching it on video too. It's like
Yeah,
it's harder
that's
to
true.
tell, and it's like, she is very pretty,
So pretty.
Yeah.
attractive, especially like this and Empire Records and End of Days. She's in that too, which we did.
Yeah.
And but yeah, that wig is horrendous.
It was one of my favorite things about her.
She pulls off. She also pulls off bald really well.
Yeah,
In Empire Records, she
well,
does.
because she had shaved her head for Empire Records,
And that's why she's
That's
wearing
why
a
she's
wig.
wearing a wig
Yeah.
here.
It was like back to back.
She pulls it off really well. I love Firuza Balk. She's so creepy. Like she's so good at playing scary. She just plays,
she really
plays
is.
unhinged
Yeah.
so well. In the same way like Mia Goth does. There's just something about her that just reads like off in like the best of ways. And the Neve Campbell is great in this, and Rachel True, which I've never seen in anything else.
She was
but,
in Half Baked a couple years later.
Okay.
Yeah. But she was good.
Yeah, she's and she was like 29 too.
Yeah.
She was definitely the oldest of the cast I saw.
Was she the oldest? I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, because
I think it'd be her.
everyone is in their 20s, but she is.
Yeah, there's somebody that's
She's
30.
several years older than the other girls.
Yeah.
And we have Skeet Ulrich here again playing.
Yeah, I always forget he's in the movie
He's
until I'm
work.
like, oh yeah, there's Skid Ulrich.
Yeah. So, which is really cool because then they're in Nev and Skeet are in Scream together as well.
Yeah.
Um.
So there's definitely like a lot of familiar faces.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the cast is really good. Oh man, it's really. I'm not a big fan of this.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I didn't see it when it came out. I mean, it just wasn't appealing to 12-year-old me. So I saw it years later, and I was like, yeah, whatever, it's okay. I still think that way. I don't think it. So I mean, I was reading they were trying to get a PG-13.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And they ended up with an R anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's kind of in this situation where they didn't. It doesn't go hard enough in certain like in the
It doesn't go as hard as it could have.
as it could have.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel like it just I don't know. It doesn't really seem terribly fresh or fun. I mean, it's a fun teen witch movie, and that's fine. But it doesn't have like the kind of snap that something like The Faculty has.
I I guess that's true, but there aren't enough witch movies in the world for me. So
I get that.
You know,
Yeah,
what,
there's
I'll take whatever I can get.
I mean, it's a starving genre that needs.
Yeah.
We need more witch movies. We need more witch movies that aren't just
Starving drama.
like I don't know that have this kind of vibe. I mean, they got an R because of witchcraft.
Yeah, that's really lame.
They
Like
didn't get
it's
an R for anything else. They got an
it's-
R because they.
there's not even
it's
like any
witchcraft.
real language. Like they were really going for a PG-13.
Yeah, they
There's like
tried.
hardly
Yeah.
any blood or language or anything.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's yeah. I mean, I feel like if they were, it's similar to the Frighteners. Like they were the Peter Jackson movie. Like they were trying to do a PG-13,
Mm-hmm.
and they kept getting an R. And at a certain point, Jackson was like, hell with it. I'm going to put in more gore.
Yeah.
So
well,
he reshot some gore and added some stuff. Like, if we're going to be R, we're going to be R.
Right.
Right.
I feel like that
And
they,
with this one, they just didn't go back and add.
yeah, I mean, they
more.
probably just didn't have the budget or whatever.
Yeah.
And I got to say, like, Neve Campbell
Mhm.
is not a good actress.
What? I love Neve
I
Campbell.
like pouty face, kind of like
She is the queen of
like
that.
kind of
though.
a bobbleheady.
Mhm.
I don't know.
My favorite is if you there are these cuts out there of Neve
Is it Neve or Nev?
Neve
I don't know.
Whatever.
of
Either
her
one.
Miss Campbell out there of her doing her very much just her gasp. And you see it in this movie too, but she always does that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's one of her things.
I think she got away from that as she went on, but especially like this is her first big movie.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like
It's pretty much in every movie she's in.
it is okay.
Yeah. I think it might just be something she does,
Yeah.
and therefore it comes through in the movies.
It's
I've always loved her.
I don't
so,
remember it as much in Wild Things.
Yeah. I don't. I've never seen that.
For real?
Yeah, I know.
That's a fun.
I
Like
need to watch it.
for someone like it's such a sleazy little fun.
I've always
like,
wanted to see it. Same as with Sarah Michelle Gellar. Never seen Cruel Intentions.
That's a pretty good movie too.
I know. It's like
They
two
really did
movies
make
I
a
need
lot
to
of teen
watch.
movies, good teen
Yeah,
movies.
they
Yeah.
did. I don't know. I feel like yes, it got an R for witchcraft, which fits. The like girls were, there are things about this movie that are just really nice. Like I like you get these girls that are outcasts, but they're outcasts for very like believable reasons, but reasons that like don't the reason they're outcast isn't like they become villainous kind of because
Right.
of like the way that they're treated.
Yeah.
I really like, I guess the girl who plays Rochelle was not pleased when she found out that like it was her character's racially motivated.
Yeah, I saw that.
But then
Like she
also-
signed on, and then once she got the script, she realized it and was not very happy about it.
But now is like that was good. But then she was also ignored in the promotional materials for
Yeah.
the movie, basically, because also being slightly alternative in high school and people just assuming like
That you're witch.
that you're a witch it is a thing. So like that kind of the fact they're like, well, you know what, we're gonna do it instead. Is super fun.
Yeah, the early drafts had Rochelle suffering from an eating disorder.
Mm,
And then once Rachel True was cast, they changed it to Rachel.
mm-hmm.
So it was specifically because she was cast. I will say this is a movie that I have seen many, many, many times. A lot of times,
Is it your like comfort food movie?
it is definitely one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like a Scream. I'll just throw it on and it can be in the background.
Yeah.
And I watched this last night,
Mm-hmm.
and my plan was to throw it in the background and do some laundry, folding.
This is one I can't stop watching.
For some reason this time it drew me in like it was the first time, and I got to I don't know why this was different than any other time that I watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I normally throw it on, I do other things, whatever. It just caught my attention and drew me in like it was the first time, and I will say that I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm.
It was like seeing it all over again, but just because all the other times I've thrown it on, I miss parts.
Uh-uh.
I sat and watched this from beginning to end, and it just solidified that I absolutely love this movie.
See, I wasn't allowed to watch this growing up.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, when I got older and watched it, I was like, I don't know. For me, it felt like something that I should have seen in my, like, teenage years.
Right.
But wasn't allowed to, again, because of witchcraft. So, like, that's the thing.
It's so weird. Like, I was trying to think of the first time I saw this. Did I see it when it came out? Did I and I just
Probably
don't
not.
remember.
You were 8 when it came out, so I don't know. This is
Would've been-
96.
Yeah.
96? I thought it was
Uh-huh.
95.
Yeah, it's 96.
Oh, yeah, it's 96.
But I do think it came out before Scream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Um,
Scream came out December, like
Yeah.
Christmas of 96.
Yeah. So, but I can't remember. I don't remember when I saw these types of movies first, but obviously it was young enough that it just stuck with me. And I think, like we were saying, Fairuza Balk, she plays that creepy, scary witch so well.
Yeah, she's
And-
great.
Yeah, and I love the scene when she is with Skeet Ulrich at the party, when he ends up dying,
Yeah.
and she like goes crazy all of a sudden,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just, I find that creepy. I think
Yeah.
she just does it so well that it is creepy.
I definitely think she's the best part of the movie.
Yes. She,
Yeah, and I mean, I see her as the lead of the movie, other than Robin Tooney.
Robin.
Yeah.
Well, she is the antagonist, right? Like, so
Right.
they are both. It's like you have Robin Tooney is obviously our protagonist. She's
Exactly.
our hero, and then we have Frieza Bach as the antagonist, and it's great that they like show how they are friends and together, like how
Mhm.
they like share friends and stuff, and then like the slow descent into like madness,
Yeah.
basically. Oh, power corrupts, right?
Oh,
and they show
exactly,
her
yeah.
get power. So, like, the idea that, like, someone who had been powerless and preyed upon their whole lives can
Mhm.
easily turn villainous when they're finally given the ability to, like,
Yeah, that's true.
fight back in a way. Because, I mean, they show, like, the first time anything happens, it's her stepfather or whatever. Like, he's being weirdly like sexually aggressive with her and just
Yeah.
drops
Yeah.
and then she starts like hitting her mother, and so she like he
Gives
drops dead
him
of
a heart attack.
And I do love how subtle like the magic in the movie, like there's always like something else that could be right, like there's
Yeah,
Right.
there's always like are they really until if Frieza Balk is walking on water,
Yeah.
and then it's like, well, obviously.
Well,
Like-
there were other scenes that were cut out
Mhm.
that kind of leaned more towards Sarah, Robin Tooney,
Mhm.
being the only one that actually had
Magic.
power.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that the others were feeding off of her power,
Well, she's the only natural.
or it,
Which is what they say.
some of it was coincidental.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was,
Well, like her dad having a heart attack.
Right.
Then they get the life insurance money.
right.
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah.
at one point, there were some more scenes in the movie that actually led it down more that path.
Well, the one girl having getting the treatment,
Right.
but her back is totally healed in a way the doctor maybe didn't expect or
Right.
whatever.
But it also was an
an
experimental thing, and
Yeah.
maybe that just happened.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
I enjoy, or I like that it's like, yes, it was very clear, like the one girl sees her Robin Tooney's character Sarah levitating the pencil in class,
Yeah.
and is like, oh, and the lady from the magic shop like talks to her about being a natural witch,
right.
and so it's like this whole, yeah, these girls that are in search of power see it and are like, well, we want
Right. Exactly.
whatever, how can we,
She has to be our fourth.
yeah, she has to be our fourth so that we
Yeah.
can basically use this. And it's so like, I don't know. I did enjoy, like, because, later in Scream, like Skeet Ulrich is like so smarmy and like in control for the most part.
Yeah.
I did enjoy like just the blind puppy dog love spell that was like
Yeah, it was pretty
put
funny.
on him. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, the Neve Campbell getting. Did I say it wrong again?
I think
No, you said Nev.
Okay. Neve Campbell getting her back cleared off was, I don't know, for some reason I always enjoyed that scene. And
It's kind of gross in a fun way.
yeah, it is. And then there is, of course, at the end, her famous breath that she takes when she
Yeah,
looks
that
at
was
when she looks at the screen.
yeah
So,
when they're it's like during the last scene when they're like packing up the house or something, and
mm-hmm.
and
Yeah,
her,
she
and
does
her
it there
and
too.
Rachel True are standing there. And
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
like, she always says that, like she's grabbing her between her eyebrows.
Her temple, yeah.
Yeah.
Or her, not her temple.
Yeah,
Right here.
Frontal lobe.
yeah, it's very pensive
Yeah.
face, and
See, that's something I've always loved about her. I feel like she has her own little tropes, and they carry on through all the movies.
Okay.
And I don't know. It's just, that is her.
Nev Campbell is Nev Campbell in
Yeah.
all things.
But I'm a big fan of her. I love her. So, is there anything? Was there any kind of scene or anything like that you did like from this movie?
it's just one of those just kind of there. Like it doesn't really pull me in very much or get
Okay.
me involved. And it feels like kind of just a been there, done that feeling to the movie. But I mean, it's all right.
Yeah.
I'm just not enamored with it. It doesn't. It's not as much fun as The Faculty for me.
Okay.
That's fair.
I don't think it's quite as clever
I've-
or well written.
Yeah, I feel like this is made to be a little bit darker too. So I mean, I agree with that. I don't think it's as much of a fun movie, but
Well,
Pretty grounded, I think.
Yeah.
In a way.
I mean, fun is. I don't mean like fun like.
right.
I just mean like fun and getting involved in a movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a different movie than The Faculty, but I wish they had just gone for an R.
Yeah, and
Like,
I
just
could
shot
definitely see
that film.
some times that's what they could have done if they had went back, like you said they did in that other movie,
Yeah.
and actually added some more stuff.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like, what are our scenes? And like, you know what? Like, I don't know what you would add to make it.
I mean, just a
Very
little
more
bit
fun.
more of something gruesome,
I guess maybe.
I mean, more.
like Robin Tooney when Firuza Balk cuts her wrist at the end.
right.
Yeah.
More blood. There is literally barely any blood.
Yeah.
So, like, I
mean-
see where that could be
Yeah.
built on.
A little more.
A little bit more of the old sex and violence.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But, I mean, for me,
For me, this is.
I love the way
Yeah.
it is. So,
Yeah, for me, I love
but
the
I could
craft.
also see that you could go back and add a little more.
But I do think the craft was made for, like, my teenage self.
Well, yeah, I
basically.
mean, it
like, you know
was-
what I mean? Like, so like, I
they
think
were
it just
going
hits.
for PG-13.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Um,
I think it shows that that's what they were going for.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely do.
So I get where you're coming from, and I will say that is one part last night that I was like, "What?" Is when she slit her wrist and it didn't bleed,
I would say with the guy who gets hit by
and
the
she's
car,
like,
that
"No,
could have
look,
been
you're
a
actually
little,
bleeding," and she like touches it to make it bleed a little bit, and I'm like, "Oh, okay."
And the guy with the car crash scene,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that could have been a little more
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
gruesome because they literally show his head get like ran over.
yeah, they
in
do.
and then they're like, but there's no blood on the
Right.
body anywhere. Yeah, but I mean, maybe I'm just giving. Maybe they didn't know they were getting an R until too late to go back
Yeah.
and
or
add
like he said,
stuff.
they
Yeah.
just were out of
Like,
budget.
It's not. It's
Yeah.
just like it's not quite serious enough to be like dramatically captivating,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not quite ridiculous enough to be fun.
No.
Okay.
It's just kind of middle of the road.
I don't know. I find it dramatically captivating. Like
See,
I
that's
said,
what
this
I
is
do
one that
too,
like I
but-
can't.
Okay.
If it's on, I can't do other things. I just end up watching the craft.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
So
that I mean that happens. We don't always agree on these movies, and some that you think are captivating. Of course, I haven't, like Mulholland Drive, which I'm currently reading a book, and they mentioned Mulholland Drive, and I wanted to throw up. But
What
yeah,
book are you reading?
that's your
it's some apocalyptic book. They were just mentioning movies in
Like
general.
the characters are talking. Like
Yeah,
a novel.
the characters
Oh.
are. So, but that's what I like about doing this podcast and talking about it. And even with this movie, with us talking about the differences, how you see it and how we both see it,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it always opens eyes to see it from a different perspective.
Yeah.
And like you were saying about going back and getting the R, and I now when I think about it, there's places where I'm like, man,
They could have really.
they
'Cause
could have pushed
I honestly
this.
thought it was PG-13 until I read that.
Yeah, I did too, honestly.
So, they're definitely the audience for this movie is 14-year-old girls.
Yeah,
And
Aaron.
14-year-old alternative girls and
Yeah.
Aaron. I think it's younger folks that are into the occult. That
Maybe,
is
yeah.
that is I think the vibe for this
Yeah.
movie.
Which I did like
Yeah.
the how much they involved the cult, and just like you get a lot of information from the storekeeper. By the way, which
was advised by a practicing witch.
yeah, they had a witch
yeah.
on staff, like
Oh, that's
to
cool.
yeah.
Yes.
But what I was gonna say is I also saw, and I really thought that was cool, is during her research into her character, Firuza Balk
Bought
a magic shop,
Yeah.
like a witchcraft shop, and I think it's in Hollywood, and owned it for a while, and then she sold it to the people that she had hired to be managers.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So she went full in. She
Yeah.
was like, I even need this shop,
Which
so
led
she must
to
have
the
been-
rumors that she was a witch after.
Yes.
Yes. So like.
Well, also she just fits that part really well.
Yeah.
She just has that, goth like
Yeah.
look. And
Look.
Which
even when she's not playing, like
And
it's just,
she
it's
look-
just
she's-
something inherently about her appearance.
Yeah.
She looks angry. And I
Yeah.
don't mean like angry, like she looks like not like RBF, but like she looks punk. I
Yeah.
don't know how to like she looks very
Yeah.
Always liked her in The Waterboy too.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
When she's like, "Do you want me to kill him?" and things like that. Like she
Yeah.
holds up a sign,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and she's just she plays that alternative so well.
So well, yeah.
But
I just saw this in the thing. Apparently, Robin Tooney wanted to play Bonnie, and I'm so glad that she played Sarah instead because I don't think we could have watched Neve Campbell play Sarah for. Not that she couldn't do it, but that like I just feel like
Robin Tooney's better. Actress.
Robin Tooney is better at selling that. Yeah, yeah.
I think
I couldn't stand because that would be a lot of pensive face. From
Yeah.
Neve Campbell.
I do
in
think
in that
that
role.
the people that were in the roles did
Yeah.
those roles good.
Yeah. No, I think everyone's cast.
Like
appropriately.
even the things you don't like about Neve Campbell,
Why do you keep saying Neve? I've literally
I don't
never
know.
heard anybody say Neve ever.
it's just me. I say it sometimes.
Because it's what it looks like.
That's the Mudsuck version. Neve.
Neve Campbell.
Yep.
Campbell.
But even Neve Campbell, it's like that role was written for her type of acting because that is like a shy, pensive person. I don't know. I felt like it fit.
Yeah, I guess it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does get less believable as Bonnie comes out of her shell.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like when she goes from being like kind of sweet and reserved to
Oh,
like,
yeah,
the
being-
mean girl,
Yeah.
it doesn't sell as well.
Yeah.
How about-
Huh. Well, I like her.
No shade on Neve Campbell, just in this movie. In this movie,
Yeah.
Her
I just have always loved Neve Campbell.
Neve.
Neve.
Neve. Nilbog.
Campbell.
Nilbog Campbell. That's what I'm going to call her from now on.
Well, I guess it's time to come to the close of this episode. And that means we need to pick from our magical sorting device
Yeah, we will be returning to our previously scheduled
one movie format
movie format per episode. We still have several movies
of those.
in the device. No, Midnight Cowboy.
Okay. I
Okay.
know this one.
I don't know what
That's
that
mine.
is. All right.
So it's a Best Picture winner,
Okay.
culturally relevant from 1968. The only X-rated film to win an Oscar,
Oh,
Nice.
all right.
which it's
Like a
pretty tame.
midnight cowboy.
Yeah, so at that point they didn't have like NC-17. It was just
Mm-hmm.
PG-R
And
X.
oh, okay.
But John Voight, Dustin Hoffman, it's an amazing film.
What is the
Story?
synopsis?
Synopsis. So John Voight plays a cowboy, more or less, from a small town who moves to New York City with the intention of becoming a gigolo,
Oh, okay.
and he befriends Dustin Hoffman, who is kind of a bit of a maybe like a low life, like just
Yeah.
kind of scraping by, trying to do whatever he can to make a quick buck. His
Mhm.
name's Ratso.
Oh, great.
So it's a great movie. It's one of those like you need to watch before you die.
Oh, okay.
Not just because it's a great movie, but because of so many pop culture references to it, and it's just so culturally still relevant, and just one of the best movies ever made. So
Okay. Well, it sounds like it's at least interesting, and it also sounds like something my grandma would have gave me to watch when I was a kid. So I
We've
should.
talked about your grandparents'
Yeah.
inappropriate movies.
Yeah.
they're the
So,
ones with like Death Wish. They made you,
yeah,
like, watch
Death Wish and Teen Angel.
Oh yeah.
Teen Angel.
She's a middle school or early high school student that's a prostitute at nighttime.
We
Angel.
Joe Bob
It's
Angel.
just called
Oh.
Angel.
It's just called
Okay.
It's
Angel.
just called Angel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
There's
one.
3 of those.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought there was 2, but I'm sure I've seen all 3.
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 that are like were made close together. I think the third one was maybe made a few years later.
Oh, then maybe
But
I've
anyway,
only seen. But yeah, I think it sounds interesting.
okay. So next time we'll do Midnight Cowboy.
Yeah. So Midnight Cowboy, join us for that episode. But until then, I'm Aaron,
I'm Josh.
I'm Toby.
and this has been The Real Opposites.